It was a relatively quiet week across the high school football landscape, with the majority of the state on byes last week. Almost everyone is back, and there is a fun week of games coming up that should shake up the poll. But before we look too far ahead, here is the latest Game Time CET football top 10 as we head into week 7. Staying at number 10 is Darien. The 4-1 Blue Wave were on a bye last week, and through the first half of the season, the Blue Wave defense has been lights out, allowing just 6 touchdowns this season, 4 of them coming against Staples. Darien kicks off the second half on Saturday on the road against St. Joseph. At number 9 is St. Joseph. The 3-2 Hogs had a tough first half of the season, and the second half isn't any easier. The Hogs will open up with number 10 Darien on Saturday and have games with Staples, Ludlow, and Wilton the rest of the way. At number 8 is Staples. The 4-1 Wreckers needed a break more than any other team as they prepare for a loaded second half schedule, with St. Joseph, New Canaan, Ludlow, and Greenwich coming up. At number 7 is Hand. The 5-1 Tigers were one of the few teams to play last weekend, and they got back into the win column with a convincing 65-18 win over Xavier. Hand hosts Shelton on Friday. Coming in at number 6 is Wilton. The 5-0 Warriors were riding high into the break, but now the real football begins. But when you have the running duo of Charlie Calabrese and Dennis Dustin, you're never out of any game. The Warriors open up the second half against Stanford on Friday. At the midway point at number 5 is Windsor. The 5-0 Warriors actually drop a spot despite being off last week. A.J. Robinson and Jaden Crompton form one of the best duos in the state as they have connected 37 times for 826 yards and 10 touchdowns. Windsor plays Conard on Thursday. At number 4 is Fairfield Prep. The 5-1 Jesuits move up a spot after beating Maloney 24-6. The defense contained Maloney's high-powered offense all night and forced key turnovers that turned into points. The Jesuits are off this week. At number 3 is Killingly. The 5-0 Trailblazers continue to put up points at a high rate, no matter who's in their way. This time it was Massac, who they beat 42-7. Hayden Allard continues his stellar season with 18 touchdowns so far. Killingly plays Fitch on Thursday. At number 2 is Greenwich. What else is there to say? Let's go on to the next team. And the number 1 team in the latest Game Time CT top 10 poll is New Canaan. That's right. That means we have a number 1 versus number 2 matchup set for this Friday night at New Canaan. It's the first number 1 versus number 2 matchup since 2022. Both Greenwich and New Canaan come into the game at 5-0. Get your popcorn ready, and we'll see you at Dunning Field.